Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining today's webinar. We're going to kick off in just another minute, but while we're waiting for a few others to join, can I check that you can hear me just fine? Just raise your hands if you can, please. I see a few hands raised. Fantastic. Thank you very much for that. We'll kick off. Thanks for joining today's session. It's all about quality management in SYSPRO. I'm joined today by Roxanne Govender. Hi, Rox.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm well, thank you. Roxanne's the technical sales consultant here with Nexus Solutions. She's been with us for 7.5 years. A number of you on the call today live may know Roxanne because she's been a consultant, actually traveling up and down the country with us as well. And now she's focusing on the pre-sale side. So really happy to have Roxanne join us today. My name's Darshni Shah. I'm the product manager here with Nexus. Without further ado, let's kick off. It's all about quality today. Now that you know what we look like, I'm just going to go ahead and switch off the webcam so we can focus on the content, of course. Fantastic. So you can see a little bit more of the screen here. Now, just setting the scene really quickly, what's driving the need for quality management? Well, as you all know, the focus is always going to be around keeping the customers. And I'm sure you've seen this statistic before. Acquiring a new customer can often cost 5 times more than retaining an existing one. So we want to do as much as possible to keep the customers that we've already worked so hard to earn. Around quality, there's also a cost associated with poor quality. And if we take a look at some of the statistics associated with that, COPQ can range anywhere from 5 to 30% of the company's total sales revenue, which means that the financial impact for poor quality is rather high. Compliance is always an important factor associated with quality. Certification, ISO standards are a key element oftentimes of a number of different industries depending on where you're playing. Certification will help ensure and illustrate to the outside world that you're adhering to common standards. In fact, in 2021, there were over 1 million organizations across 170 countries that have ISO 9001 certification. The other end of quality is when we have recalls. We all love talking about this at the water cooler, and you know that it makes headline news when we wish we were never one of them. There was a survey done in last year around Deloitte and talking about consumers. 35% are less likely to buy from a company that has had any sort of recall associated with that. And in the world of TripAdvisor and Vote For Me and Uplifting and community surges, 65% are less likely to recommend anyone that's been involved in a product recall. Now, of course, we're talking about the B2C realm, but B2B and up and down that particular supply chain also gets impacted. Fundamentally, we want to address all of these needs, but what we're working towards on the quality side is around continuous improvement. We all know this lovely old quote about the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. However, from a quality perspective, it's all around non-conformance, and that's essential for continuous improvement associated with quality management. So by documenting and analyzing non-conformities, we can identify root causes, implement corrective actions, and of course, prevent that from happening again. So that's fundamentally the key focus around quality management. Within SYSPRO, using those tenets, in the last release in 2023, quality management was released and new functionality was introduced associated with inspection management, and existing customer complaints and recall functionality moved into this particular module. This was improved last year in the 2024 release, and I think it's become far more of a robust offering that we have with the addition of non-conformance reporting as well as CAPA management. Now I'm going to kick off things and get a quick poll launched off because I want to hear from you. What is the biggest challenge that you believe your organization faces around quality management? And if you could go ahead and choose one of these, I could see some votes starting to come in already. I'll just give it another 30 seconds before I close the poll off. And it looks like we've got as many votes in as we're going to get at this point. There we go. So closing the poll off, it looks like most of you have an issue around addressing non-conformance, followed closely by effective inspections and regulatory compliance, but there are absolutely issues all across the board. So what are we going to talk about today? In this session, Roxanne's actually going to walk you through a live demonstration of some of the key functionalities that address this specifically within SYSPRO. And you can use them individually or as part of a fully integrated real-time solution. You can use that to track, analyze, and resolve quality issues. So you're going to see how you can track and manage customer complaints, efficiently handle product recalls, conduct timely inspections on incoming purchase orders or job receipts, and then of course, if you so choose, track non-conformance reporting and then implement any corrective or preventative actions. Throughout the webinar, if you do have questions, go ahead, don't wait till the end. Feel free to pop them into the channel and we'll go ahead and populate them and get them addressed at the end of it. At this point, I'm going to hand over to Roxanne to walk you through what all of this looks like right within SYSPRO. Over to you, Roxanne.
Okay, thank you guys. Sorry, frog in my throat. I'm just going to go to my SYSPRO screen. Okay, you should all see SYSPRO on your screen. It should look fairly familiar to most of you. We're going to talk about customer complaint management first. It is a crucial aspect of, so customer complaints is a crucial aspect of any quality management system. Handling complaints effectively is key to maintaining customer satisfaction, brand reputation, and regulatory compliance. Having a structured approach to complaint management, businesses can turn negative experiences into opportunities of improvement, strengthening customer relationships and driving continuous process enhancements. To help businesses streamline and enhance customer complaint handling, SYSPRO offers a customer complaint program designed to capture, track, and resolve complaints efficiently. Let's take a look at the key capabilities in SYSPRO's complaint management system. Now, I've gone ahead and pre-prepared a complaint, so we will log into the one that I have. Looking at this complaint, you can see this complaint was from customer one, and their complaint was the box that they had received was damaged. They had also sent a picture of the damaged box, which I have attached to the logged complaint. This complaint is also assigned to Andrew for a resolution, and if I needed to, I can go ahead and link this complaint to either an invoice or a sales order. From the screen, you can see that we are able to log and categorize customer complaints. We can assign customer complaints to the appropriate teams, and we can escalate complaints when necessary. For reporting purposes, there is a standard customer complaints report that is available in SYSPRO. However, leveraging SYSPRO's existing functionality, such as business insight tiles, to enhance visibility and tracking, I have created a business insight tile that specifically monitors open customer complaints. Here at the Outdoors Company, the KPI dictates that no more than 5 complaints should be open at any given time. And if this threshold is exceeded, the tile should turn amber, providing users with a clear visual cue of this issue. So let's see this in practice. I'm going to enter a customer complaint. For customer 1, I'm going to flag this as a low priority customer complaint. And the subject of this customer complaint will be on the feedback of outstanding orders. So essentially, the customer is upset that it has taken us more than 24 hours to respond to them. Okay, let's try that again. Copy and paste. I'm going to go ahead and save this without assigning it to anyone, just to illustrate how the tile works. So here I have customer complaints of 5. When I refresh, there are 6 complaints and the color of the tile has changed. With these capabilities, as well as existing SYSPRO functionality, your businesses can proactively manage customer complaints, ensuring faster resolutions, improved customer satisfaction, and a strong quality culture. Okay, I'm going to go back to my original user and close this customer complaint. Now let's shift our focus to an essential component of quality management, recall management. Product recalls are critical for businesses that manufacture and distribute goods, especially in industries where product safety, regulatory compliance, and risk mitigation are key concerns. When a product defect is identified, an effective recall process ensures that affected items are quickly traced, removed from circulation, and addressed before they can cause further issues. Without a streamlined recall system, businesses face product safety risks, regulatory consequences, and financial and reputation damage. A well-structured recall process minimizes these risks by ensuring quick, accurate traceability and efficient resolution for quality concerns. SYSPRO's lot traceability functionality is a tool in the quality management system, providing businesses with a structured way to manage recalls effectively. To demonstrate how the recall process works in SYSPRO, let's go through a real-world scenario. Imagine we are working here at the Outdoors Company, a business that manufactures and sells bicycles. A customer contacts customer services reporting that the handlebar of their recently purchased bicycle is defective and they are requesting an exchange. This raises a concern with the quality department as the defect could indicate a broader manufacturing issue. To assess the scope of the problem, we decide to conduct a mock recall of the affected stock code or batch. Here's how we do this in SYSPRO. We will log into the product recall quarantine. We need to name the product recall. And we need to give it a description. So for the purposes of this demonstration, I will be recalling our product lot 100. At this point, I can either do a full recall or a mock recall. A mock recall will just give me a look at the scope of the recall if I had to implement it immediately. I will now save and click on the selection list. I'm just going to resize the screen very quickly. At this point, the options I have for the product recall selection is the lot number, the stock code, the warehouse, the bin, and right at the bottom of the screen, any transaction dates. For the purposes of this demonstration, I will choose my stock code lot 100. When I click Start Review, what I will see on the left right of the screen is the list of all of the active batch numbers or lots. I'm also able to see any affected customers, any affected sales orders, as well as any affected work in progress jobs. This process can also be run for purchased items, raw material or components, and the search selection is the same. It could be by lot number, by stock code. by bin, transaction date, or warehouse. Furthermore, we have an advanced search feature called additional lot names. This is available for supplier lot numbers. So if a supplier had provided a lot number with an incoming shipment, it can be linked to the SYSPRO generated lot number. So if the supplier has a recall and they provide their batch number, you will be able, or lot number, you will be able to do a mock recall with that lot number or batch number. This enables users to conduct a selection review based on the supplier's given number, ensuring seamless traceability and compliance. By following these steps, we efficiently identify and remove defective products before they impact customers, ensuring compliance, customer satisfaction, and brand protection. Now that we've explored the recall process, let's move on to another key component of SYSPRO's quality management system, the inspection process. SYSPRO's quality inspection process ensures that products meet the required standards before they move further into production, distribution, or customer use. By inspecting materials at key stages, businesses can detect defects early, reducing waste and rework costs, ensure compliance with customer, industry, and regulatory standards, strengthen supplier accountability, and improve incoming material quality. Prevent non-conforming products from reaching customers before protecting brand reputation. SYSPRO's quality management system In SYSPRO's quality management system, inspections can be carried out at two key points, at either a purchase order receipt or a job receipt. By implementing a structured inspection process, businesses can ensure that only high quality materials and products proceed through the supply chain. To successfully implement an inspection process in SYSPRO, businesses need to set up the system correctly, and here are a few key requirements. The first requirement is that all products need to be flagged for inspection. So you find this on the tracking pane where this product is flagged with inspection. This ensures that all receipted products are automatically routed for inspection before acceptance. The second is this QM inspection required tick. That needs to be enabled to allow businesses to track inspections, record results, and trigger corrective actions if needed. The third is that tests should be designed and linked to a stock code. Let's have a look at the inspection level review where we assign tests to stock codes. You will see that tests can either be linked to a work in progress job or a purchase order level. I will click Start Review. In the in the right pane, you have a list of purchase order inspected items and work in progress inspected items. At the bottom of the screen is a list of the tests that are linked to the highlighted field. So if I highlight lot 112, the tests that are linked to that is CT, CT2, and GI. If I click on lot 100, it's CT, CT2, CT3, and handlebar. To create a new inspection, you must first specify whether it appears to work in progress or purchase orders. So I'm going to click on the new button. We would need to define whether it's a work in progress inspection or a purchase order inspection. You will then need to define the warehouse, the stock code. You have the option to define a customer. So if you only need to inspect items that are going to a specific customer, you have that as an option. And the same with the purchase order inspection. If you wanted to only inspect items that come from a specific supplier, you can go ahead and flag that as well. You can choose the sample basis, which is either sample quantity, full quantity, one or none. And you can flag a default inspector, the person who is responsible for inspecting this. Once you're done with all the fields, you can click Save, which I will not do at this moment. Once the level is set on the top, or you've created the stock code, you can then go ahead and add inspection tests to that specific stock code. So for my lot 100 at the bottom, there are 4 tests already assigned to it. I can click on the new and then assign an additional test from the list. This structured process ensures that upon the next receipt, an inspection is required before goods are accepted into stock, maintaining quality control and compliance standards. Now let's look at inspections in action. So to do this, I need to log into the inspection test queue. To find it on the tree view menu, you will need to navigate to quality management, inspection, transaction processing, and inspection test queue. For the purposes of this demonstration, I will run it from my flow graph. So in my inspection test queue, you will see both work in progress and purchase orders are selected under the review criteria. You have the option to deselect either one to focus on a specific inspection type, but for the purposes of this demonstration, I will leave them both selected and click on Start Review. In this middle panel, you can see a list of all of the inspections that are currently waiting to be actioned. I'm going to navigate to the last 2 on this list, and these are the ones that I will transact. The very first thing we need to do is allocate an inspector. So if a default inspector is not assigned to the test, we have the option here to allocate an inspector. So I will allocate the inspector on inspection note 66. To do that, you highlight the desired line, click on Assign Inspector, and I'm going to assign this to myself. Ooh, let's use that correctly. Okay, that is how you would assign an inspector to the specific test, and then that inspector will be able to go ahead and conduct the 4 tests that are below. So on inspection 64, I've gone ahead and completed the first 3 inspections, so it's just the last inspection that needs to be done. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So when I click Post, I'm able to enter the handlebar installation, to which is satisfactory. And I can confirm that there is in fact a bell and there is a quick release. I'm then going to click Submit. So now that all the tests are completed, that line falls off this inspection list. So now I'll need to go into work in progress, inspection, in order to receipt that item into stock. So the first thing I need to do is go down to inspection completed and then start review. On this list, you will see my inspection 64. You see inspection 66 as well, which is the one I'd assigned to myself. If I click on post, you will see all the lines are grayed out. So I'm unable to accept this into stock because it hasn't been completed yet from an inspection phase. The inspection is in progress. If I click on 64, which is the one that I've just posted, you can see that the inspection is complete. There was a sample quantity of 1. Accept is now available, and I can go ahead and receipt this into stock. This is now posted into stock. You can see the journal has been created and that item is now accepted into stock. Now let me walk you through how to view test results that are currently in progress and have been completed using the inspection dashboard. I will show you this from Avanti. So the first thing I will do is click on the inspection dashboard. I will enter my lot 100 because that's the stock code we've been using quite often. And the first thing you see is a list of inspections that are currently outstanding. If I click on any of the outstanding inspections, I'm able to see the job that it is linked to. I'm able to see the test level or the inspection details, the quantities that are waiting for inspection. And at the very bottom of the screen, there's a progress bar that tells me that this inspection is in progress. To the right of that, there's a list of the 4 tests that have been carried out. And as you can see, tests 1 to 3 are completed, but test 4 is yet to be started. If I wanted to have a look at the results of any of the completed tests, I can click on the words display test. And here we'll see what was tested and what the parameter of that test was. So if I wanted to look at completed test results, I can click on include completed. And so I know test 64 was the one that we just did. Here you can see the bar is green, all tests are completed and all tests have passed. Test 65 had failed. It's a test that had been done previously. You can see that the test had failed. The bar is red. And on the list of tests, the first 3 had passed, but the last one had failed. And if I wanted to see what the failed test was, I can see that it was we are expecting satisfactory in this field and a weight in grams, and both had failed because they were under spec. I'm able to attach a document to the inspection. So the document can either be any of your certificates or any quality documents that you require. This process ensures that there's full visibility in the inspection process and test results. By using real-time data and analytics, businesses can proactively improve supplier relationships, refine internal processes, and enhance overall product quality. Over to you, Darshini, for another poll.
Thanks, Roxanne. So Roxanne's just taken you through the production element of it, but I'm curious, where do you face most of your quality issues? Are you seeing them when they're coming in from suppliers? Are they at the end of your production process, or is it something else? I've got an even split so far for those that have voted in. A few more votes are coming in. I'll give it another 15 seconds. It looks like we've settled down, so I'll close the poll off. Interesting. So of all of the votes that came in, more than half think that there's an issue around manufactured products in-house, and then about 38% for those that are coming in from the suppliers. Excellent. Good to know. Thanks very much. Feels like we're ready to talk a little bit about what happens once we've identified what the issues are. So back to you, Rox.
Okay, thanks, Darshini. Okay, so now we're going to look at non-conformance reporting and corrective and preventative actions. It is an essential aspect of quality management, as we all know. A non-conformance report is a structured method for documenting and addressing quality issues within an organization. NCRs are used when a product, process, or service fails to meet predefined quality standards, specifications, or customer expectations. NCRs are essential for identifying defects early and taking corrective action before they escalate, maintaining compliance within the industry regulations and internal quality standards, ensuring product and process improvements through structured investigation and resolution. By properly managing the non-conformance issues, businesses can improve quality, reduce waste, and enhance customer satisfaction. Beyond just identifying defects, NCRs play a crucial role in continuous improvement and regulatory compliance with root cause analysis, corrective actions, preventative actions, and regulatory compliance. SYSPRO's quality NCRs are not just about documenting problems. They are an opportunity to learn from quality failures, optimizing processes, and to drive long-term improvement. Now let's move into the live demonstration so that I can show you how it works. I'm going to click on the non-conformance report maintenance. If you are accustomed to the tree view menu, it is in the quality management system, non-conformances, transaction processing, and here, report maintenance. But I will use the tile that is on my screen. So I have pre-prepared a non-conformance. So I've gone ahead and created non-conformance 9. And what we see here is it was raised in response to a customer return as a result of a defective bicycle stem. This issue could have been related to the customer complaint we observed a little earlier, where the damage to the stem could have been resulted from inadequate packaging. In such cases, a non-conformance could be raised against the responsible party for poor packaging practices. And this just illustrates how we can complete this business process flow using all the separate programs within the quality management system. However, in this instance, I will be raising it against the supplier for delivering defective goods. Within the non-conformance, you will see key details like the title. You will see the initiator, which was a quality department. It's only because I have an operator called quality. You will be able to see the severity level, so it's critical, and you can see the status that currently we have started the CAPA process. At the bottom of the screen, we are in the investigate root cause. So I've gone ahead and completed that in preparation for this demonstration. But to show you what I've put in, if I click on the comment bar, you can see that I have put in that it was defective from the supplier. The root cause was that the supplier product was out of spec. And I needed to choose a cause category, and I've just chosen from the predefined list that I set up. So if I just remove material from the heading and search, you'll be able to see a full list of what the predefined rules are that I've set onto the system. Okay, so I'm just going to close that. So I've gone ahead and started the root cause analysis, and I've also gone ahead and completed that. That has led me to the corrective action. And in corrective action, I've said that I needed to create a return to supplier for the replacement products. I've started that, but it's still in process. What I have done, though, is at the end of the screen or to the extreme right, you'll be able to see that I linked this to the purchase order. And the purchase order number is 395. Linking can also happen with the main non-conformance, where on the actual header of the non-conformance, I've linked this to the originating sales order 792 that the customer had sent in. So at this point, I need to do the preventative action. So when I click on preventative action, I've not added anything yet. So our business has decided to implement an additional inspection step on all incoming goods from suppliers to ensure the product quality. I will now record this as a preventative action, and then I will proceed to create the additional inspection step. So here I will say add additional, forgot to spell additional there a second, inspection step. So I'm going to save that. And on the notes section, I'm going to say what that additional step is. I'm going to say we need to add a visual check at the inspection and a visual check inspection step at purchase order receipt. So I'm going to save that. And I'm going to click started because I've now, as a business, I can communicate this to the quality department. So what I'm going to do now is just hop very quickly into my quality user. So this is my quality user, and I've now instructed quality to go ahead and create this inspection step. So the first thing that quality needs to do is design the test. So to do that, there is an inspection test design program. So in this inspection test design program, I'm going to go ahead and create a STEM check. I'm then going to click on design test form. On design test form, I have the option to add a caption. So your caption can either be alpha or alphanumeric. So I'm going to create a caption called visual check. So this is an alpha field, but as you can see from the drop-down, it can be alpha, it can be a checkbox, it can be a drop-down list, or a numeric field or a date. I'm going to go ahead and click add field. Once I've clicked add field, I now have the option. There's some options at the bottom to add icons and other options which you can have a look at. I'm now going to save and exit. So at this point, I have my visual check. I can flag whether this inspection level is critical, major, or minor. So I'm going to leave it at critical. And I'm going to say that validation is required. And that means that I am looking for something specific in that field. If this was a numeric check, you have the option to add a numeric target as well as tolerance values of either higher or lower. But because this is an alpha test, I'm looking for the word satisfactory. I can then go ahead and save this. I can then go ahead and save this. And the next thing I need to do is go into the inspection level review, which I've shown you in the inspection process, in order to link this test to a stock code. So I'm going to keep both ticks enabled. I need to add this to a purchase order receipt. So I'm going to click on add. I'm going to click purchase order receipt. So my raw material warehouse, and I'm going to select my stock code B1209. Although lot 100, which was the completed bike, was returned, the item that we need to inspect is B1209, which is just the stem. So I'm going to click on that. And I want to check only goods that comes from supplier 5 because supplier 5 was the person who sent the incorrect or the underspec items. So I want a full inspection, and I'm not going to flag a default inspector. So I can close that. So here's my B2109, and as you can see, there are no tests that are linked to it. I'm now going to go ahead and add the test that we just created. There's stem check, double click, and save. As you can see, tests are version controlled. So my handlebar test that is here, there's three versions of that handlebar test. So you can version control your tests. So now that this is done, this ensures that any receipt or any goods that come in from supplier 5 for B1209 in future will have to undergo inspection before we are allowed to use it in production. Okay. So now I can go back. I've added in the preventative action. I've gone ahead and created the test. So I can go back into my non-conformance and I can go and complete it. So I'm going to save that it started. I'm going to complete it. I'm going to go to corrective actions and complete that as well because the goods have been sent back to the supplier. And then I can do my closeout. And in my closeout, I can say all recommended actions have been completed. I will then tab on that and save. Go back and check that it was started. You'd obviously have a time lag when you do this, and I can go ahead and complete that. That means that all of the actions on this non-conformance have been completed, and the only thing that's left to do is to have it audited, and at the end of the audit for someone to go ahead and select this tick box. Now for segregation of duties, you can see that I am not allowed to tick this. There is a third person in the mix, which is the admin operator, who will be able to complete that, will be able to complete this non-conformance. So from a reporting perspective, I have created, there are standard reports that come within the non-conformance program, but I have leveraged off embedded analytics and I've created a tabular view of all non-conformances, and I've put them in embedded analytics. So using system standard functionality, this table can be filtered by various fields, allowing you to customize data views based on specific requirements. So I can move fields around, I can add fields or remove them, but I can also go ahead and filter for specific fields. So I can say, let me see all completed non-conformances and all conformances that are still open. I can also filter by stock code, description, or person responsible, or whether they're closed out. By implementing some of these best practices, businesses can transform NCRs from reactive problem-solving tools to proactive quality improvement drivers. Thank you, Darshini. Back to you.
Thanks, Roxanne. Fantastic. Appreciate that. Yeah. So it's been a great whistle-stop tour of a lot of the functionality that's built in directly into there. And I wanted to just run through a quick summary of some of the things that Roxanne's covered. We started out with the customer satisfaction element of it, about managing complaints, where you can capture, maintain details, track any activities that have happened against that particular complaint, and escalate if it's not resolved in a timely manner. We identified recalls where you had defective items that were tracked, reviewed anything that was affected, and generating mock and live recalls. Inspection with a number of different tolerance values, setting up configurations, reviewing your test statuses, and non-conformance and corrective action. All of this exists within the new quality management module. So the core areas that we've covered are obviously around inspection and non-conformance and CAPA that are the traditional quality elements, in addition to customer complaints and recall. There are, of course, additional needs depending on what your quality needs are. And so if you're looking for something in addition to what SYSPRO's core quality module offers, we do have an additional third-party product and a partner solution that we have, Unipoint. And it caters for the more core transactions that you would have from a quality perspective as well. So it's something that you want to think about depending on what your needs are. SYSPRO's quality management module may actually achieve and address the key components that you need. If you have additional requirements, especially when it comes to things around supplier management, trend analysis, tooling and calibration, you may want to look at something a little bit beyond this. I've got a number of different areas where you can obviously go to learn more. I've put them in the chat as well for you to be able to access. There's a great overview in the online help that's available to everyone. Even if you're not on 2024 release, the online help is available to you. We've got recordings of previous webinars that have covered a number of the functionalities we talked about today in a little bit more detail. And if you're looking to update to the latest release of 8, we would encourage you to take a look at the 8 upgrade landing page that we've got, which is the last link that we have available in there. So hopefully you've found today's session useful. Please feel free to send us some feedback if you have any other questions. If you want to go into a little bit more detail, of course, we can tailor that specifically to your business needs. And of course, we're looking forward to hearing more about what you want to see next in future webinars. Thanks very much. Appreciate you joining us. Have a fantastic day.